Exciting times here. We're going to test some fun ones today. Really looking forward to this. The new Cobra LTDx line of drivers. A lot of tech. Chris, tell me about it.
A lot of new tech in this head. So essentially what we have, LTDx, 3 different head designs. We've got LTDx LS, which is going to be that little faster ball speed, more workable, lower spin model. LTDx, which is going to be basically for the broadest spectrum of player. So that's going to fit the majority of our guys out there. And then you transition into LTDx MAX. And so this is going to have some adjustable weight, does give us an opportunity to create a little bit more of a draw bias ball flight.
Great.
So a lot of tech in this head. So big touch points we can hit on our new power core technology. So power core technology, new innovative design from Cobra. They're actually repositioning weight a little bit more low and forward, creating faster ball speed and giving us a little bit less spin.
We love that.
Everybody loves that.
We love that.
Who doesn't like high launch, low spin?
Exactly.
Next on the list, we have new hot face technology. So Cobra's been known for having those 9 hot points around the face. This year, LTDx expands on that technology, and with a new face design gives us 15 hot points, so even broader impact area for sweet spot.
Love that.
Who doesn't like more forgiveness and more ball speed?
Absolutely.
So next we have, in a couple of these models, we do have adjustable weight.
Okay.
So LTDx LS, we have an opportunity with that low forward weight design to shift between a draw bias design and a fade bias design.
Okay.
So the guy that is looking for a little bit more workability, playability in the driver, the LS does give us an opportunity to have some movable weight.
Okay.
So same thing, shifting over to LTDx MAX, we have that adjustable weight giving us an opportunity to create more of a draw bias to it.
Great.
So custom options available, really fits a broad spectrum of player. Though, moving on down the line, they have the CNC milled infinity face. So incorporating that new hot face technology, that infinity face design gives them an opportunity to really customize what's going on behind the scenes, allowing them to add really multiple layers to expanding that sweet spot and maintaining ball speed across a big hitting area. So finally, we have a new multi-material chassis that they've engineered, allowing them to incorporate some of that carbon in the crown, in the sole, and really move that weight around to put it in some more effective areas. So this tested great during robot testing, really well received during player testing. Let's get some numbers.
I'm excited. Let's do it.
So let's start LTDx. So this, like I said, is going to be primarily the head that fits the broadest spectrum of player. So we'll notice we've got 2 distinctly different finishes this year. So this really cool navy blue is a new color design that Cobra launched this year. And you'll notice on the crown, this particular model is a gloss finish, whereas LTDx in the black is more of a matte finish.
Okay.
So it does give the player some options. They don't have all of the varieties of colors that they've had in the past. So, but 2 different options for 2 different looks. So fixed weight in this particular head design, so no adjustability in the weighting component. Let's go ahead and hit this, see what we think.
I'm excited. Here we go. Well, that felt great. Wow.
Good ball right out of the gate?
Yeah, it felt pretty good. You know, it's always interesting that first swing to see what you're going to feel, what your expectations are looking down on it, and then what it feels like.
Low spin.
The gloss finish is, I think, a really nice touch. I'm used to seeing matte these days. I'm not used to looking down at a blue driver, but I really like it. I mean, the gloss and the way that the carbon fiber kind of frames the ball.
So I mean, what's going to appeal to players is look, sound, feel.
Yep, I like it. It's a nice option and it's distinct. You're going to know if someone's playing this driver what type of driver it is, and I like that it stands out. That one felt good. Very impressive, Chris.
Good number there.
Not too bad. I'm telling you, I have not hit this dead center yet, and look at the speed, the numbers are all very solid.
This thing was category winner for robot testing.
Okay.
Like for launch consistency, dispersion downrange, it was tighter and more consistent than everything.
I can see that. You know, I've done a great job of utilizing the 15 different points across this face. So maybe that's my play. I mean, maybe that's the robot that I am.
What's initial feedback on your end as a player?
So I was really impressed with how the Infinity Face felt, and as we mentioned, I did a great job of touching those 15 points, and it wasn't as off-putting, and the misses weren't as negative as you might expect hitting it across this face. So they've done a really nice job boosting the MOI, making it really easy for the player to feel where you're hitting it, but not being overly penalized for those miss hits.
Now, even on the toe miss, I mean, ball speed still held. Spin was pretty consistent. And I mean, as far as dispersion downrange, let's take a look at some of the numbers.
Yeah, let's do it.
So looking at some of these numbers, the LTDx is going to be the higher launching head out of the group that we have.
Okay.
So, and we can see that 14.3 initial vertical launch, 169 ball speed, maintained ball speed throughout that sample, really, really consistent. I like the spin window that it was coming out with, and carry number at 300 yards with a 4-yard standard deviation. Pretty consistent. Really speaks well to the technology that they put in there for the stability and the MOI this year.
100%.
And performance-wise, really nice.
Yeah,
consistent across the board.
I'm impressed. Like I mentioned, those weren't all hitting the middle of the club face. So to get a standard deviation that's that tight, just as a testament to the tech in the head for sure.
Next head that I want to hit, we're going to transition into LTDx LS.
Okay.
So this is going to be a little lower launching, lower spinning version. We do get movable weight for some adjustability.
Okay.
So let's catch some numbers here.
A little deeper head. We've got the matte finish in this head. Looks nice.
That was nice. Little lower launch. Held ball speed.
Yep. Toe miss over 300 yards is nice. I'm liking this one a lot, Chris. This is great. I'm going to use this on the closest to the line tournaments in scrambles when I'm playing in those. I mean, do you have any head covers I could just
snake that one out?
Yeah, this is a pretty nice little package here. I wouldn't do any adjusting. I know you talked about some, but leave it just as it is. I think the biggest difference for me was the way it was able to frame the ball from the top, a little bit deeper profile. But as far as the feel of the face, very similar. As far as the MOI, felt the same. I was able to hit it across the face, as we saw. I hit a little more in the center on a few. However, I still did get some out towards the toe, which is my typical miss.
Sure.
We didn't get any crazy lefts. We didn't see any big drops in ball speed. We saw very consistent carry. So for me, it was just more of a framing thing because I really didn't feel the need that I need to make the adjustments, even though you do have that option with this head.
No, that particular head design, it was interesting watching you hit that, because LTDx did prove to be kind of neutral to slightly draw bias with your particular angles that you create.
Yeah.
LTDx LS held the line from where it started.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a lot of dispersion downrange, wasn't a lot of curvature, just a very, very stable, steady ball flight. We did see that lower launch that we expected, slightly lower spin, a little more extra carry out of it too. So comparing the two, we did see a little better numbers for you out of LTDx LS.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, you know, honestly what I would have expected if I looked at the two and didn't hit them. This would be the one I'd gravitate towards, but can't complain with either of those.
Next on our list to test, we're going to try LTDx MAX. So this is going to be their draw bias head.
Okay.
So going to be a little higher launching than what we saw in LTDx LS, but going to be a little bit more geared towards that player that struggles with a bit of a right miss.
Perfect.
Let's hit it.
So now this is the third one I've looked at, and they've done a really nice job making all the driver heads look really appealing to the player. Usually, you know, you might see some heads that might not appeal to all players.
Sure.
All three of these heads I could play just on visual. Look great, footprints very solid and easy to frame the ball. So let's get some swings in. Well, I'm going to say it. It's as advertised. Easy to turn, but again, felt great. Man, that was solid.
Another nice high draw.
Yep.
And I do like that they've given us an option with movable weight.
Right.
So if you are a player that struggles with that right miss now, it does give you an opportunity to kind of evolve with the driver, move the weight around, and create more of a neutral head profile.
100%. That's great. Because not every person, when you get a driver, is going to hit it the same the next year. They've done a nice job giving the ability to maybe keep this in play for a little longer than just that year.
No, absolutely. And with as stable as they are this year, it's something that a variety of different players can play.
Right.
So you have anything from a scratch player or a competitive player all the way up to now your intermediate and higher handicap player. And they've really done a good job of designing a head to cover a broad spectrum.
We can remove the right side of the golf course. About as consistent as we've seen, one after another. I'm interested to see the numbers on this one. So
I think it's going to be a little draw bias. LTDx MAX definitely produced that draw bias ball flight that we were expecting. Slightly higher launch, a little more spin, again, as we were expecting in that draw bias club head. But I'm pretty impressed. Ball speed maintained kind of across the board, all three heads. Now, LTDx LS, a little faster, but LTDx MAX, still competitive right there.
it just is a testament to the consistency of the tech and the club heads. They all perform very similar, I feel like. It's just a matter of what your specific needs are as a player. It's kind of a treat to hit these three back to back to back and really get a tight comparison of what they did.
No, and as you had kind of mentioned earlier, the consistency of the strike, not necessarily as solid as we potentially could have seen it.
Right.
And the new tech that they've developed in here between the power core and upping that MOI in all three heads, and again, that new face design, I'd say pretty solid.
Yeah, it's definitely a line of drivers you're going to want to check out this year.